All right, ladies, you already know the rules. Above all, protect yourself and obey my command at all times. Now, tap gloves and good luck.
Rounds a couple of years ago where it was Levy who came out on top by 59 points to 56, but they're both so much better since then. And Andy, you'll know Beccy Ferguson brings it. There's a little bit of Amanda Serrano about her, isn't there? The way she gets on the front foot, throws plenty of punches and tries to land the big left hand. So tonight is about who's learned most, who's developed most since the last time they met.
It's a good matchup. It should be an interesting fight, this. And Levy looking to get straight onto the front foot. That was a sharp-looking right hand. Last year she had that fight for the British and Commonwealth against Tycee Gallagher. That was here. Lost that one over 10 rounds. But that's a really, really good level because the Border Control have been very sparing with which weight divisions they've granted championship status to, which has been a good thing, I think. And there's only been 4 in total so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And the winner of this one tonight is going to be on the cusp of a title challenge again. Levy coming into this in career best shape, and that's largely now because she's training closer to home. And she does actually work at the Box Cross Gym in Wisbech alongside Jordan and Paul Gill doing PT sessions, but then she's able to do her own strength and conditioning, her own training, and instead of 4-hour round trips in the car, well, she's just down the road. So all of that making a very, very happy fighter.
I think that would make such a big difference. Such a big difference. I'm not that surprised that Jordan's gone down that road when I spoke to him earlier in his career. It's interesting looking at him now, isn't it, as an experienced pro compared to a few years ago. I always felt like coaching might be something that he would do. His dad actually was a very decent amateur boxing up at the Ingle Gym in Sheffield, so they've both been around boxing at a really good level for a very long time.
Which means Levy's got a lot of experience in that corner to draw upon. She lands another right hand towards the end of this one, and that sort of almost right hook cut right hand at the start and end of the round to the juicier punches landed in that 2 minutes. There's Beccy Ferguson, tough as they come. Endured a few defeats lately, so it's a big opportunity for her to not just to get back to winning ways, but to catapult her career back to where she was just last year. That was an emotional night for her, Andy, when she won that Midlands area title.
It's always great to see somebody get over the line, isn't it, and win that title. Those area titles are fantastic. I've seen so many good area title fights down the years, a lot of them in this ring, because it means a lot for a fighter to get that sanctioned Border Control title, because once you've got that,
corners, 10 seconds.
Even though you may well lose it at some point, it's yours forever, isn't it? It's something that you've done and that nobody can ever take away from you. And that's
two.
Why you do get those really emotional nights, but they're both looking just to rise that one step higher than that.
Here we go then, into round 2. This one's scheduled for 6. 2 minutes rounds, of course, and Levy looking to let loose on the ropes. And Levy looking to put Ferguson on the back foot. Now, I think that's probably quite a good idea. Ferguson likes to come forward, let her own hands go, fights in bursts and flurries, so might just be the right approach if she can find the right kind of measure behind the shots.
She's nice and loose, Ferguson. She just lets those hands go, like you say. She'll come forward, walk forward a bit, comes square at times, but she just lets that long left hand go, particularly.
I suppose there's so much DAZN fighting at your call again, getting on DAZN, big opportunity maybe with a title shot just around the corner as well. You can understand the DAZN, maybe a bit of that just creeping into the way they're going about it early on.
I'd like to see Levy jab more, because she's not really using that lead left hand particularly. She'll get into a crouch there and then really looks to lead off with the right hand like she did on that occasion.
She managed to land it again, but yeah, she's intent on getting close. Nice left hand there from Ferguson.
She's got good fluidity with that left hand, and then she just brought it underneath into an uppercut into the body. Her punch output is high, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of work from Levy. Maybe just cramping her own space a little bit on occasions when she's looking to force the fight. And Ferguson finding a few shots off the back foot there, particularly the left hand. Do we have the play as it's set out for the rest of the fight? Well, we will find out. I had about a half-hour chat on the phone yesterday with Stevi Levy, and I must admit I laughed for most of it. She's a hell of a character. She was telling me her son Morgan described watching his mum when she fights as having bumblebees in his tummy. You can understand exactly what he means.
He looked very chilled out on the ring walk, didn't he?
3.
Well, that's something to take into school for show and tell.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Here we go into round 3 then, approaching halfway. Levy looking to put it on Ferguson on the front foot. Little reminder there, that was a nice little check right hook, wasn't it, from Ferguson?
It was. I wouldn't say those first 2 rounds are going to be the easiest to score. 2-minute rounds kind of slip by before you know what's happened really. And Levy's been the one on the front foot. She's looking to be aggressive, to try and dictate terms. But as we've been saying, there's a nice looseness about Ferguson. She just works those hands, lets them go like she did there. The right hand, I think, pretty much got through that time, whereas Levy's just that little bit stiffer, that little bit more rigid. So the dynamic is that Levy's on the front foot trying to make the fight be more aggressive, but in terms of who's landed what, there's not a lot in this at all.
Maybe because Levy's coming forward, she's putting so much into it. You can see how much desire and effort there is in Levy, how much he wants it tonight. It'll be difficult for the referee just to split apart the shots where Ferguson is picking her off. I think she was clipped by a big left hand there, and another right gets through, and suddenly this intense pressure from Levy starting to make a little bit of an impact.
And you can just see a little mark on the left cheekbone, on the point of the left cheekbone there of Ferguson. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. It's a blemish, I think, rather than a swelling, although it could come up. There's that right hand that gets through again there from Levy, and just as we were saying, there wasn't much in it. She's put a dent in her in round 3.
Indeed, Andy, and they're landing another lead right hand. And it's just a little stutter in the step there from Ferguson towards the end of this one. I think she's going to see it out and hear the bell, but suddenly a little twist in the plot, and suddenly that intense pressure, that headlong attack from Levy started to bear some fruit.
She just caught her on the ropes up to the left-hand side as we look at it. Got through, as you called it, I think, correctly, with a left hand, and then followed it up with a right, and she just looked a little bit stung, and for a second I wondered whether she might be about to unravel, but she managed to just backpedal and find a bit of open ring away to the far neutral corner. But that was a big round for Levy.
And there we see just the kind of swelling, bruising under the left cheekbone that Andy was touching on and commentary there for Beccy Ferguson.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Her 2 kids, son Cassian and daughter
Seconds
Sienna,
out.
will be looking
Round
on nervously.
4.
Must be a tough one for the kids, seeing mum come home with a few bumps and bruises after a night's work. Unusual to say the least. As we go into round 4 then, can Levy build on that big press of the 3rd round, or Ferguson find the gaps?
Well, she's backed up onto the ropes straight away again here, Ferguson, and does a good job there actually of getting herself off them. But again, it's not long before she finds herself back in a similar kind of position.
No, nice lead hand there. The sort of lead right hand's been the shot, hasn't it, for Levy? She actually threw that one slightly lower, a bit more variety on it there, and that just caused a bit of mischief.
I think the plan here really has been not to particularly use that left hand for anything other than to judge the distance. I said earlier I'd like to see her just throw a nice stiff jab, but the fact that she hasn't done that isn't because she's not capable of doing it, but just again there, she just flicks that lead hand out almost as a distraction to look to try and land that right.
Well, I suppose she hasn't needed to. She's not been stopped in her tracks on the way in, so her feet are quick enough to get her there. That's a lovely shot. Oh, that did have an impact. That was almost an uppercut come right hook, right into the midriff. That was a cracker of a body shot, and no surprise that Ferguson just stepped back from that one.
And that's the first time really that she looked for that, and you could see that the guard was up, the elbows were up a little bit, and she just reached long underneath, and you could feel that almost, couldn't you? It went right into the pit of the stomach, and she's had another good round here, Levy, just trying to work Ferguson over, who's shown a ton of grit here,
she's
just
tough.
hanging in.
She is tough, Ferguson, but for the first time, you just saw the mouth open, and that body shot under the pressure, which is building now. That's rounds 3 and 4 of unrelenting pressure, and suddenly the tactics, they're starting to work out for Stevi Levy. That was a really good body shot. And I think all the boxers say those are the kind of shots that stay with you for a couple of rounds. So I think that's there for the rest of the fight for Ferguson, I'm afraid.
She's got 4 more minutes remaining here,
Corners,
Levy, and I
10
just
seconds.
wonder how much she will go after the stoppage if she just keeps trying to turn the screw.
Round
Then I think
5.
it is possibly there for her, but she's going to have to keep the tempo really, really high all the way through.
Into round 5 then, penultimate round. You know, Stevi Levy been watched by plenty of supporters here and friends and family back home as well, watching DAZN. Her Aunt Lily and Uncle Trevor, who effectively brought her up as a youngster, they'll be watching this with interest and pride, excited and probably a bit nervous as well, I'd expect. Well, that was a bit different from Levy, wasn't it? A little bit of a feint and just slight step back. Just creating an element of doubt, confusion, asking a few questions now of a tiring Ferguson.
What Ferguson does well, though, is that she just keeps punching, doesn't she? It can leave her a little bit open sometimes, and just as she laid back there, she caught a right hand. The glove wasn't quite up high enough, but the fact that she's always willing to throw something back means that Levy can't just really ever get completely on top of her and really bully her. There's always something coming back from her.
The right hand, though, has been a heavy clubbing shot for Levy. There was a really good long left from Ferguson prior to that, but the heavier shot was the right that came back from Levy. And there again, the right hand. Hands coming down. And another body shot finding the target from Levy. A good defiance, as you'd expect, from Ferguson.
Again, just puts her hands together well there, but as she's pulling back out, gloves down, catches her left hand from Levy.
Yeah, it's the worst place to be as well, the ropes with her left hand low. She's just inviting the right hand, and she should know by now that the right hand has been coming unrelentingly throughout the night from Stevi Levy, and probably not one that the referee's having too much difficulty about jotting down the numbers for so far. Well, there's just been a couple of glimpses maybe that some of those heavy shots were getting through, and you wondered if Ferguson was going to be able to tough it out or would wilt under the pressure, but the answer is she's definitely been able to tough it up, land a few shots of her own as well, no surprise.
Gunners, 10 seconds.
And now the finishing line is very much in sight.
Seconds out, 6, and final round.
Saw a terrific female fight last night, didn't we? The rematch between Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan. That was another 10 tremendous rounds, and the sport in general on the female side is really on the up, because people felt that it might dip a little bit as Taylor and fighters like that came more towards the end, but not so at all.
No, and the thing is, it's the next 5 years, Andy, that we're probably going to see the fruits of your Sandy Ryan, Michaela Mayers, Katie Taylors, Savannah Marshalls and Tasha Jonas and Terry Harper, who's in action again, and actually Stevie Levy's hopefully going to be on that bill in late May up at the Keep Moat. Maxie Hughes against Archie Sharp and Terry Harper against Natalia Zimmerman. That's on DAZN. Stevie Levy penciled in to face Ellie Halliwell on that bill should she win tonight. Well, she's well on her way to doing that and booking her slot.
Blood just coming from the nose there of Ferguson inside the final minute.
Can't miss with the right
here.
hand, Andy. Can't miss with the right hand. Again, Levy. It's partly because of the ferocity of the attack. It's partly because leaning back on the ropes. It's partly because Ferguson is looking to land her own left hand. So it's perhaps not up as high as it should be. 30 seconds to go. Work rate's been good. Pace has been excellent.
It has. It's been a good fight. I think Ferguson was really competitive for the first couple of rounds. She's been competitive all the way through, but it was pretty even those first couple of rounds. She just slides those punches out, catches a couple of left hands there, but from the third onwards, Levy has been firmly on top.
Big smile, warm embrace, a lot of respect between them as fighters and as single mums, the pair of them. Levy told me yesterday, I like her, just not for the 20 minutes. Your call on Sunday night, and so it is. She put on a display, really went at Becky Ferguson. Looked like it might be tough. It looked like she might maybe potentially need a change in the play, Andy, after the first sort of round and a half, but actually she stuck to her guns and what she was doing worked for her.
Yeah, it did. I think you mentioned it after a couple of rounds that she was maybe closing her own space down a bit, was trying to muscle the punches in a bit too much, and I think when she settled down and just relaxed, as is often the case, she looked better, didn't she? She found that distance a little bit more and got home with some good solid punches.
And there's the girls, Paul and son Jordan. What a lot of experience, what tremendous experience to call upon. Particularly Jordan, who's kind of been there, seen there, done it. I mean, his career's been a roller coaster, hasn't it? In the ring particularly. Right, here we go. Let's get confirmation of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. The ringside referee scores the bout 58-56. And your winner, Super Stevie Levy!
Just a couple in it then. In the end, 4-2, but I suppose after the start that Ferguson made, you can kind of see the sense in that.
Yeah. I mean, the referee must have given Ferguson the first 2. That's the only way you could really score that, and I don't have any strenuous objection to that, because, as we said, the first couple of rounds, Levy was on the front foot and looking more aggressive, but Ferguson was just sliding the punches out and doing some pretty effective work, so I can see that card.
Another one for the mantelpiece. And roll on 23rd of May on DAZN up in the Keep Mo. Ellie Halliwell, question mark, could be on a night when Terry Harper's going to be boxing as well. So that could be another great night for women's boxing up in the north. On a night when Maxie Hughes and Archie Sharp are going to go at it as well. So that's going to be a terrific night as the hits keep on coming on DAZN. And there's another family photograph. That's Laura Hollands, who's one of Dave Allen's kind of right-hand women as part of the White Rhinos team. He's watching from home, in training, of course, for that big rematch.
Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Just down the road from me at the Copper Box.
Yeah, that could be a cracker. Dave manages Stevi Levy, so he's got a bit of a project on his hands, and we look forward to the next chapter. Let's hear from them now. They're chatting to us.
Stevi Levy. Stevie, another win under your belt, a repeat from the previous fight. How did you feel in there tonight? Morgan, come in.
Yeah, I felt amazing tonight. So much more confidence. I used to always, shit myself with southpaws, but the whole camp we've done has been purely for southpaw, and I was just so ready for it. And I knew how tough she was going to be, even tougher than last time. And obviously, I've improved, so I definitely would have been a better fight the last time. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So I'll take this out. Hold on. Stack in there, innit? You put it.
How are you enjoying being in the ring with this new team around you, new outlook on your career as well?
No disrespect to anybody else who's trained me. Obviously, I'm so grateful for all of them. But this team now is the dream. Absolutely perfect. I couldn't wish for anyone anything better. It's just been every day is a dream with these, like, honestly. And I'm speechless. I never get speechless, but all I do is just say how happy I am, and I mean it. Honestly, I couldn't be any happier.
Well, Jordan Gill, let's bring you in. I mean, fantastic performance from Stevi. Great to see you in the corner with her. How is the whole setup going?
It's great. You can see it herself. She's happy. And, as a fighter, that's all you want. All we want to do is get the best out of Stevi. She's got so much potential. She's so fit. She's so strong. She's so tough. There's no reason for her to be dancing around, looking like Sugar Ray Ahmad, Bruce Lee. She's a killer. And the more we develop her, this is our second fight together. She's taking that space well, and she's putting the hurt on people. And you're just going to see more every time she's developing. She's looking great. It's a whole new challenge for me, and I'm loving it. And she's happy, and that's the main thing.
And title fights on the horizon.
Yeah, next one, Ellie Halliwell. We're going to beat her May 23rd on the GBM in Doncaster Football Ground. We're going to beat her, and then we're fighting for the rainbow belt, our dream, and we're going to win that before Christmas. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Well done tonight, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Can I just thank every single person who's come here for me tonight, honestly. I normally dread Mother's Day. This has been the most special day of my whole fucking life, and I've had some special ones, but look, it's Mother's Day. I've got my little boy, I've got my my favourite people in the whole world are here. The others are at home watching on the telly. We're on the telly again, Morgan, right? It's not real, is it? But it is real. Don't say fuck all bugger, you bastards. Sorry, Lily.
Well done. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Top tier are the titties.